recipe we're going to be doing with you today is a stuffed pizza swirl. So a nice, quick, simple little recipe for you, and I'm going to run you through it first. Now, the first thing we do before we start to cook is we need to think about playing it safe in the kitchen. So when you're in the kitchen, you need to be aware of what's around you. You need to obviously speak to a grown-up to let them know you're in the kitchen and what you're planning to do. And here is what we're going to do. This is the recipe. Have a look at these slides here. Okay, now we need to get ready to start. So if we're going to be starting this one, we need to get ourselves ready and cleaned and ready to cook. Okay, so how are we going to do that one? Well, we need to play it safe. There are a few rules about doing this one, so I'm just going to quickly, from my kitchen here, play it safe, okay? So play it safe. You need to tie long hair back. I don't need to worry, I haven't got a lot of hair. Wear a hat, otherwise that's another option. Wash your hands, very, very important, for 20 seconds. And wear an apron or protective clothing on you and roll up your sleeve. So let's do that one together. So you need to wash your hands for 20 seconds. So like that, in between your nails, in between your nails. Okay, back of hands, back of hands. Don't forget those thumbs, both sides. Lots of soap on there, brilliant. And then wrists as well, don't forget that one. And properly, loads of soap. Now, once you've got your soap, you need to then think of some water there. So we need to do the same again. We're going to... Hands, nice, clean, ready to go. Wash your hands. Next one I'm going to do, put an apron on. So you need to get yourself an apron on, very important when you're cooking. I'm going to wear my chef whites and my apron on today to properly cover myself up. So here we go. Right, okay, now time to get to cooking. So we're going to go back to on my area and we're going to start to prepare the food for you. Okay, let's go. Okay, so welcome back. So we're in my area. Now the other thing to think about when you're preparing to cook is make sure your area is nice and clean as well. I've cleaned my work surface down here. So the first thing we're going to need is 200 grams of flour. So if you've got bread flour, ideally a strong bread flour, but if you haven't got strong bread flour, we'll go with whatever you've got on this one. So I'm just going to be using some plain flour on this one. In it goes. Okay, so we've got the flour in there, ready to go. With the 200 grams of flour, we're going to be putting there 40 grams of a baking fat there, or a butter in there, is going to go into the bowl. So I'm just going to put that into the bowl as well. There's our bowl, there's our butter, in it plops. Okay, now we're going to do two different skills now. We're going to do one that's called cutting in and one that's called rubbing in. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is we're going to get a rounded butter knife and we are going to cut the butter into the flour. Can you see that's happening now? I'm just going to cut the butter into the flour. Okay, that is the butter cut into the flour. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to rub it in. So how are we going to do this one? We're going to use our pinchy fingers here, okay? So we're going to use the very ends of our pinchy fingers here. And I want you to get inside the flour. And what we're going to do is we're going to lift and tickle, okay? And each time we're doing that, we're going to rub those little bits of butter even teeny tiny as small, okay? So we're going to break it down even smaller still. So we're going to lift this up and give it a little tickle. Okay, we've now rubbed the butter into the flour, having cut it in first. If you're not sure if there's any big lumps, give your bowl a little bit of a tap and see the larger bits come up to the top and you can carry on. But at the moment now we've rubbed those in and cut them in and then rubbed them in together to create ourselves a wonderful base to our scone bread pizzas. The next thing we need to do is we need to add something that's going to help it rise up. Now traditionally in a pizza bread you might be using a natural raising agent like yeast. But today, because we're going to be quick, we're going to be using another one, which is a chemical raising agent. Now my chemical raising agent I've got here is baking powder. Okay, so I've got some baking powder there. I'm going to be putting in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. That's the small spoons. I'm going to be just putting in 2 teaspoons into there. So we've got 2 teaspoons into that. Now that's a dry chemical raising agent. It's not going to do anything until we get it wet. So we need to put something wet to make all of that bind together, which is what we call our gluing in food terms. We're going to get all that to bind together. So what are we going to be putting in there? We're going to be putting in 1 egg, and we're going to be putting 75 millilitres of milk. Now, we can always, if you can't get hold of the eggs, you can always go with extra milk. So here's my chicken. Let's grab the egg. We've got the egg here. We're going to be putting the egg into the middle. So what you need to do is we're going to final mix up with our knife. We're just going to mix all of those ingredients together. So you've got the fat, the flour, and the baking powder. We'll mix all of those together. Are they all mixed in together? Looks like it is to me. Right, now what we're going to do is take a little hole in the middle. There we are, little hole in the middle. And then in that hole in the middle, I'm going to be putting an egg. Let's crack that egg in there. In it goes. Plop. Into the middle there. So we've got our egg in that one. Brilliant. And now into that one, I'm going to be putting in 75 millilitres of milk. So I've got my milk here. So how many is 75 millilitres? You'll be looking at about 5 tablespoons of that, but put it in gradually. Okay, so we're just going to be putting in, we'll put a couple in to start with. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to start, and I'll probably put 1 more in after that one. I'm going to start to bring all that together. I'm going to stir with my knife, butter knife. Let's keep all things down to a minimum. So I'm going to stir that one up. Now I'm going to bring all of those bits together into one big dough ball forming here. So you just need to keep stirring that together until we've got ourselves one big dough ball going on in the middle there. I'm just going to press the sides as I turn that one. Okay, so we've now got ourselves our wonderful dough ball there. Let me show you that one on the screen there. There we go. You can see we've got a dough ball there. We're not going to overhandle this one. We're just going to bring it together into a nice ball if you haven't done so already. There we go. Now that nice the dough ball there, what we're going to do is, it's a quick bread, a soda bread dough ball there. What we're going to do is we're going to roll that one flat as a sheet of paper, like a sheet of A4 paper there. So you can do that there. So in a rectangle shape onto your board. Now before you do that one, you're going to need to be putting a little bit of flour onto your board. So let's sprinkle a little bit of flour onto our board. Now if you've got a rolling pin, that's brilliant. But if you haven't, don't worry about it. We can just flatten it out with our hands. Here we go. So I've got mine on the board there. I'm just going to bring that one into a rectangle. Okay, we're done there. So we've done the rectangle there. If you can have a look on there, I'll hold that one up to the camera for you. So we got our rectangular piece of dough right in the middle there. Can you still see that one? Brilliant. Now it's time to spread that with our filling. So we're going to be a pizza filling paste here. So what I've got to use to start with, I'm going to be using one of this stuff, and this is called passata. Okay, so this is a passata base. It's tomato already in there. It's really rich tomatoey sauce there, and you're going to be using that one on here. Now if you've not got some of that, you could always use that tomato puree and just do that one. That would work absolutely fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix a little bit of tomato puree and a little bit of the old passata, mix those two together into a little bit of amount. How much do you need? About 100 grams of both of those together, mixed together. Okay, so I'm just going to mix that one together. So I've got my passata and my puree. There it is. And that's going to spread all over that one. So let's do that one together. So let's grab a butter knife, and we're going to spread that one all over. Around a butter knife again, and we'll do that one together. Okay, fabulous. So we're back to me. We've got the tomato on there. The next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting some herbs. Now you can go with some dried mixed herbs. So I've got some dried mixed herbs there, and we can sprinkle some of that all over the top. And maybe you've got some fresh herbs. We can try putting some fresh herbs on there. I've got some basil there, and I've got some lots of different types of herbs here. I love basil. Now, on this. Do is going to put some cheese on the top of this. It's already starting to look a little bit like a pizza, but we need to get the cheese on top. You could use a mild cheddar or a mozzarella, whatever you fancy on this one. I'm going to go with a mild cheddar. Be careful with the cheese graters. They're like little mini, tiny little knives, and you've got to be careful not to cut yourself on these ones, okay? So with a bit of mild cheddar here, I'm going to grate the mild cheddar on top of the pizza here. So let's do that one. Okay, so it's really starting to look more like a pizza now. It's got the tomato, and we've got herbs, we've got cheese. You can add some other bits and pieces in there if you want to throw in some olives. Fabulous. A little bit of chorizo maybe you want to put on the top there. You have a play with this one. Make it your own. I'd love to see how these turn out. Okay, final thing we need to do is we're going to roll these ones up. We said these are going to be pizza swirls. So to do a swirl, we're going to need some swirling going on before we go and run these into the oven. Now, so how long do these need to go into the oven? They need to go in for about 20 minutes. You need to be on there for a gas mark 6 and at 200 degrees Celsius, okay? So 200 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes, depending on whether you've got a fan assisted or not. Back to the pizza. Let's have a look what's going on down here for swirling it. I'm going to use the long side here. I'm going to roll it up. Good. So the next thing we need to do is we need to chop this up. You're going to need a sharp knife for this one. So a small sharp knife, like a paring knife. That you might find that one in the kitchen, but make sure that you've got a grown-up close to hand to help you with this one. So you can find really big ones, like a chef's knife or a cook's knife, but we want a smaller one, paring knife. And what we're going to do at this point is we're going to cut through these Swiss rolls into little Swiss roll sections, and then we're going to put them onto a baking tray. So you're going to need to have a hand and some greaseproof paper and some scissors to cut yourself a nice rectangle, and you're going to be putting those onto into an oven tray. Okay, here's one I've done it earlier. So we're going to slice up these and place them onto those and place them into the oven. Now these are nearly done, so the final thing we need to do is we're going to give them a little brush over the top to make them beautiful on the top. So what we're going to do is going to use a pastry brush or a clean paint brush here, and we're going to give them a little glaze. Now what that is going to give a lovely sheen and shine to them when they bake, so when you get them out they've got this lovely golden shine to them. Okay, so we can either use a little bit of the milk with that one to do that one, or a little egg with that, and we just get the brushes and we're just going to brush over the top. And that is all there is to it. They're going to go straight into the oven now. But be careful when you're getting them in and out of the oven. When you're getting them in the oven, you need to think of oven gloves, and you need to be careful not to catch yourself on the oven doors. Cautionary note, ovens are hot. Okay, let's go over there and sort this one out. So, cautionary note, caution, hot ovens, okay? Be careful. Wear oven gloves. Make sure when you're carrying the tray that you're careful when you get it in and out of the oven. There we go, all ready to go, and I will show you the beautiful picture in a few moments when we get this out. Fabulous, these are now ready. I'll get those ones out of the oven. Don't forget using the oven gloves, because remember, caution, hot ovens. So there we have them. They've just come out of the oven. Aren't they amazing? let's get back over to the work area. Hey, there we have it. Beautiful pizza swirls there. They look absolutely delicious, and hopefully yours do too. Now, I know that you're really going to enjoy food, but there are some important reasons why food is so good for you as well. It's going to be the practical application of maths with all that measuring and weighing as you put the ingredients together. It's going to be a practical application of science as you start to combine ingredients and chemicals in a new format to create new foods. You're going to be a great expression of, you show a great expression of creativity as you look at garnishing and you look at decoration as you present your food in a wonderful way like this. There's going to be developing your literacy as you follow and read recipes and you follow the step-by-step instructions. There's going to be so much going on. We're going to be developing your organisation, your time management, how are you under pressure. All of these aspects come with teaching food and learning about food. Ultimately, what we want to do is foster a really good relationship between you and food so that you can develop not just your food choices, but the food choices of your families and friends out there. And we want you to have a love of cooking.